Thank you. I mean, hello to all, and I thank you for your participation active, and we are very happy also for the subject. I want to read the message of the Pope. That is, of course, my message. The Pope said, I offer you cordial greetings and I express my gratitude to the Pontifical Academy.
Quand même le son sur les haut-parleurs.
Plenary session to placing basic scientific research at the service of the health of our planet.
Casque, mais je l'ai plus sur.
Colleagues, you must mute your microphones.
You can have also the text. I sent to you the text, so you can read also the text. I continue. I likewise greet the invited experts and leaders, all of whom I have weighty international responsibilities, and I look forward to their contribution. Before all, I express my support for the work of the Academy, actively promoted by its president, Professor Joachim von Braun, and the Council. In these days, my interest in your work is even keener because you have devoted this plenary session to what is rightly a topic of profound concern for all humanity. You are focusing on the notion of sciences at the service of people for the survival of humanity in light of the SARS-CoV-2 COVID-19 pandemic and other global issues. In effect, the pandemic brought to light not only our false securities, but also the inability of the world's countries to work together. For all our hyper-connectivity, we witness a fragmentation that made it more difficult to resolve problems that affect us all. It is significant then that the virtual plenary session of the Academy brings together a number of different disciplines scientific. In this sense, it offers an example of how the challenge of the COVID-19 crisis should be addressed through coordinated efforts in the service of the entire human family. Your efforts are largely concentrated in the study of new immunological and immunochemical pathways to activate the body's own defense mechanisms or to stop the proliferation of infected cells. You are also studying other scientific treatments, including vaccines, now being tested in clinical trials. As we know, the virus, in affecting people's health, has also affected the entire social, economic, and spiritual fabric of society, paralyzing human relationships, work, manufacturing, trade, and even many spiritual activities. It has an enormous impact on education. In many parts of the world, a great number of children are unable to return to schools, and this situation runs the risk of an increase in child labor, exploitation, abuse, and malnutrition. In short, being unable to see a person's face and consider the other people as potential carriers of the virus is a terrible metaphor of a global social crisis that must be of concern to all who have the future of the humanity at heart. In this regard, none of us can fail to be concerned for the impact of the crisis on the world's poor. For many of them, the question is indeed one of survival itself. Together with the contribution of the sciences, the needs of the poor members of the human family cry out for equitable solutions on the part of the governments and all decision makers. Healthcare system, for example, needs to become much more inclusive and accessible to the disadvantaged and those living in low-income countries. If anyone should be given preference, let it be the neediest and the most vulnerable among us. Similarly, when vaccines become available, equitable access to them must be ensured regardless of income, always starting with the least. The global problems we face demand cooperative and multilateral response. International organizations such the UN, WHO, FAO, and others which were established to foster global cooperation and coordination should be respected and supported so that they can achieve their goals for the sake of the universal common good. The eruption of the pandemic, of the broader context of global warming, the ecological crisis, and the dramatic loss of biodiversity represent a summons to our human family to rethink its course, to repent, and to undertake an ecological conversion. Laudato Si. A conversion that draws on all our God-given gifts and talents in order to promote a human ecology worthy of our innate dignity and common destiny. This is the hope I expressed in my recent encyclica Fratelli Tutti on fraternity and social friendship. How wonderful it would be if the growth of sciences, of scientific and technological innovation could come along with more equitable and social inclusion. How wonderful would it be, even as we discover faraway planets, to rediscover the needs of the brothers and sisters who orbit around us. The reflection of your plenary session on the science and the survival of humanity also raised the issue of similar scenarios that could originate in the most advanced laboratories of the physical and biological sciences. May we remain quiet in the face of such prospects. As great as the responsibility of politicians may be, it does not exempt scientists from acknowledging their own ethical responsibilities in the effort to halt not only the manufacture, possession, and use of nuclear weapons, but also the development of biological weapons with the potential to devastate innocent civilians and indeed entire people. Dear friends, once again, I want you for your research and your efforts to confront these issues in a spirit of cooperation and shared responsibility for the future of our society. In this month, the entire world has depended on you and your colleagues to provide information, to instill hope, and in the case of countless medical professionals, to care for the sick and the suffering, often at the risk of their own lives. in renew my own gratitude and offering my prayerful good wishes for the deliberation of your plenary session, I invoke upon you, your families, and your associates God's blessing of wisdom, strength, and peace. And I ask you, please, to remember me in your prayers. Rome, from St. John of Letran, 7 October 2020. Thank you.
Thank you.
I can't say nothing more. This, I think, is a very nice message. President, it's your turn.
Thank you, Marcelo. This is indeed a very nice letter, and I think especially connect the role of our science, interdisciplinary science, which is in the letter, is very pertinent to our agenda today.